Dude, I had some time the other day.
Oh no! Yes. Oh yes.
To play a game, and I'm playing Starfield.
Oh yeah.
Which is that Bethesda game.
Yeah.
And so I have the old Xbox, whatever. So I got to play it on cloud gaming.
Yeah.
And so I got all hooked up to Ethernet, the whole deal.
Yeah.
And, so it's cloud gaming, and I understand some of it's going to be glitchy. And it's actually not been.
Yeah, that's good.
It's been fantastic. However, the other day I'm like, I'll just sit down, just play a little bit.
Yeah.
And there was a queue. And a lot of times it says loading cloud gaming, like there's a lot of players right now.
Yeah.
You got a 5-minute wait. It even tells you a 5 or 10-minute wait.
Wow.
This one said a lot of players playing. It's gonna be a while. I was like, what the fuck? And like, there's no countdown, no nothing. You just sit there looking at a screen like a dumbass. Of like, I guess I'll just wait here until you're ready to let me play my stupid little game.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's interesting to me.
Eventually, it took about 17 minutes.
It's still not terrible, but what
the fuck? What do you mean that's still not terrible?
It's not
just
terrible.
Sitting there for 17 minutes?
But my point is, it's not an hour and a half. Okay. By the way, that was really shitty. I mean, you're
eternal optimist.
You're right.
Yep, there you are.
I am. But here's my thing is like, isn't that fixable? Isn't there something they can do about that? That the fact that people are logging on and can't play for 17 minutes? Can't they say, you know what, we probably need another, server farm somewhere?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody else was giving me shit about it. Like, This is not that big of a deal. This is amazing technology. You don't even have a disc, and look how well it plays and all that. I'm like, okay, I get it. But this is not, like, it's not brand new technology.
Yeah.
Everything you look at on the web is on the cloud, like AWS and all that. So this is Microsoft's cloud, probably.
Yeah.
And it's
they've
just
had
like,
a week though.
Yeah, but it's like, look, I get it. It's hard. Don't tell me you can do it. Then get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like,
out of my store.
Everybody does things that are hard. Do it right.
That's what she said.
I mean, you can tell I've played, so put a little note on there, make my little locker in the cloud that says Michael, and so when Michael comes, we let him play the game. We don't
Michael.
Welcome to 2 Shots and a Royalty Check, brought to you by Venmo, your money, your move, and Liquid Death, murder your thirst. Let's get back into it.
Michael's playing Starfield.
Oh my God. Yeah. The future sucks right now. I never had to wait to play whatever, Nintendo. Like, I get it.
You had to blow in the cartridge for 20 minutes before the fucker would load.
It's funny. Katie Nolan was talking about this on the Dan Soder. He has a new podcast. Cool. I love those two.
Yeah.
I love those two separately, and I love them together.
Fantastic.
And she was like playing Spider-Man 3, which is a really hot game on PS5, which you never touch because of your beard. But she was saying... She was like, I just hate when all these young people get on there and like, it's glitchy. There's a problem with it. And she's like, are you fucking kidding me? You get to run around through Manhattan and Queens, and you could do everything in an open world environment. It's amazing. I could have never done this. Like, shut up and restart the game. Mm-hmm. And while I appreciate
lose your space in
that
queue, like now it's 26 minutes to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate that point of view, but it's the same thing. People who play Grand Theft Auto know this too. Like, it's just... I don't like that we've gotten comfortable with a certain amount of glitching on a bunch of things, whether it's YouTube or Spotify or whatever the platform is. Even Comcast, it's Comcastic, even Xfinity. Yeah. You be watching something and the screen goes all glitchy. Like, there's even a Twitter account that's like a glitch Twitter account to show you all of these. But it's like, that never used to happen. Never.
Yeah.
Not in cable. Not in. Well, it's ridiculous. The whole thing is. The future sucks right now.
I just gonna have to go.
I know
ahead
you're
and
fine
disagree
about
with
it.
you, Bob.
I'm just glad they gave it a good shot.
I just hope both teams have a great
to be
time.
In the world where you could play a game online.
I just hope both teams enjoy themselves. Essentially.
You should be grateful you have eyesight to play a game.
There are people without eyes. Or hands.
Some motherfucker told me that about my sleeping, about not being able to sleep.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and she basically said, she was like, Well, how fortunate you are to have a warm house not to sleep in.
Did you then
I was
shave
like-
this person to death and bury their body in the basement freezer?
No comment.
Regarding your sleep, you have been conducting experiments over the last few days since we last saw each other regarding some cat supplements to assist with them fucking off into the night so you and your lovely human can catch some Z's. Would you care to update the world on what's been going on?
So I bought a literal bag full of cat toys. There's like 100 pieces in there.
Oh, nice. Like a puzzle.
I bought a bag of 100 soft balls
Yeah, thank you.
with a gun.
Really like that you leaned into that ball gun.
Thank you. With a love gun.
Excellent.
With a love gun.
Yeah.
And you put the little balls in it and you can shoot the balls around.
Yeah.
And my point of view on that was like, even if my cat doesn't like that,
I like it.
I'm still going to have fun shooting balls around the house. And just saying, hey,
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot some balls now. Like, that's enough for me.
That's fantastic.
I also bought more Feel Away. So Feel Away is like this pheromone. You know, like you get like a Glade thing that you plug in the wall, the pluggables?
Yeah, yeah.
It's for cats, and it's like a pheromone something or other that like puts stuff in the air that's supposed to relax anxiety cats.
Okay.
And so I have that plug in. It doesn't really smell. It's like,
Relaxy cat.
Yeah, but they're like, put it where the cats are, and I'm like, well, the cats are fucking everywhere. What do you mean? Like,
Put them
and it's
directly
like-
outside your bedroom.
Yeah, and you know where the nearest plugs are? On the wall.
Yeah.
Cats don't sleep on the wall. Like, but anyway, so
Put
I'm
a fan
trying
in,
that.
put a fan in front of it and blow it all over the house.
It has a little blower on it, but I
Oh.
don't know whether that's working or not.
That's
Okay, so there's
cute.
that.
Yeah.
Then I got these chewables, which are
Are they for you or for the cats?
Oh god, no. We've got the sativas and the hybrids. And the,
nice.
Yeah, we've got all the things.
Yeah.
Because, but no, these chewables are like for calmness. Mm-hmm. And then we got this like bisque, which is like a cat food that is like a slurper. You slurp it, like you put it in the bowl and it's like a little slurp. Mm-hmm. I mean, it looks just like bisque, actually.
Oh, fantastic.
And so the idea with that was like we would feed them like late at night and so they'd get more calories because they, anyone that owns a cat knows the cats love gravy and they don't give a fuck about the food. It's like cats love the box, they don't care about the toys.
Yeah.
All right, so I get all this in my house. The CBD, I also was getting the CBD and the melatonin for the cats.
Yep.
And that has not arrived yet. So it got delayed. I think someone stole it from the forward facility. Okay, so all of this stuff.
Yeah.
The toys are and like the little pop out little tunnels. There's these little. I got this huge thing that's like these 3 tunnels together
saucy.
where they can kind of hide and play with toys.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they don't like the chewables.
Oh.
One of them likes the bisque, the other one doesn't. And I mean, he hates it. He like went up to it. We've taught them not to eat people food.
Is it
and
the flavor?
It smells a whole lot like tuna casserole. And I think he's like, that's bad. I'm a bad cat. And he runs away.
Oh. Okay.
So we can't really feed them both. We feed them at the same time.
No update on that. Okay. So no empirical
so that's
data.
the update on that. So they're playing with like 4 of the 100 toys.
Yeah.
They've gotten in and out of the tunnel, although the boy kitty is using the tunnel as a staging facility to attack the girl kitty. So she gets in there and she's like, finally I'm safe. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And then, he comes after her. So now I don't think she wants to be in it. He's in
God.
it, but like he's trying to play hide and seek and half of his ass is hanging out of it.
Yeah.
Hilariously.
Yeah.
The ball gun shoots at about, 2.5 feet. So it's not. So I need to modify it. I need to somehow get into the workshop and modify that little plastic gun so it shoots it. I don't know, something like 40 miles an hour, and so I can get it really going at him.
You're like, all of a sudden, both your cats are dead because you like.
But I mean, it's not even fun for me to shoot. It's like, I got the gun, and I put the little fluffy toy in it, and I cock the gun back, and then go. wop wop. I mean, it's like I hear Price is Right fail music all the time. Wop wop wop. It just sucks. Like the ball barely gets airborne and it just goes falling down.
Okay, so out of all of this, is there any more sleep that has happened?
Here's what worked.
Okay.
Me sleeping on the couch so that the boy kitty could sleep on the coffee table in front of me. And then he only woke me up 2.5 times.
Oh. How do you count a half time? I'm just curious what the metrics are on that.
The half time is he jumps on me but doesn't meow and yowl or claw me. Yeah. And so so I got a good solid 5 hours in. I felt like a new man.
Yeah. Man, I feel
that
like
worked.
a new
I don't
man.
like this is all. Of course, it's just like with chiropractic. Is that how you say it? It's like like the one time doesn't work. You have to like the feel away people.
And
are
you
like,
have to keep
it
going.
It takes a few weeks.
But it also you also have to keep going. If I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and we're starting new routines and things like that.
Yeah.
So I'm feeding them really late, so they eat really late, like at 11 o'clock to fall asleep. Hopefully,
with a full belly.
And that buys me until about 3:30. And then about 5:30, and then about 6, and then so then that's where we're at. However, I'm hopeful about the CBD and melatonin, whatever it is.
Melatonin, would be right.
It's we're closer.
Closer.
We're closer.
Okay.
But so I was telling you, the experiment was the night where we went on a field trip, and we'll talk about this in a second.
We will.
We went and saw a big rock show, had a bunch of beers, had a bunch of tequila and mezcal and some tacos and whatever.
Great.
That night, I was able to sleep probably 7 hours, 6-7 hours.
Wow.
I don't know if that's because we got home so late that the cats were like, I guess they don't care about us anymore. I guess we'll sleep.
Fuck you.
Or if it's because I was so loaded that I was like, I don't even hear them. Didn't wake me up at all. And so I'm thinking that maybe I have to do that every night. We have to go to a show, and I have to get a little drunk.
Okay, and then they'll leave you the fuck alone.
Maybe, like, that's the experiment, tequila and beer.
Yeah.
That worked.
Yeah.
Like, that fucking worked more than the chewables, more than the bisque.
Wow.
More than the stupid ball gun.
Maybe they were repelled by your odor. I don't know. Like,
maybe they were like,
oh,
maybe. Okay, so I actually had a. Okay. All right, we're going to get deep into this. I've talked to a cat therapist.
Oh, I have a series. I have so many questions.
Therapist.
Carry on. But we'll get to those.
And so, okay, you've seen the guy who's like the dog whisperer, right?
Yeah.
Who comes in and does all that.
She's our Millian.
She's that for cats, basically.
Yeah.
And, but she told me, she was like, the thing is, cats are very social. Oh. And so they're going to pick up on your energy, okay? And so if you're a little bit stressed out, they're going to be stressed out over the night. And I'm like, but I'm fucking stressed out because they're keeping me up.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, okay, so you have to fake it and, like, let them know it's okay to sleep through the night. And I'm like, I've yelled at that cat all night. It's okay to sleep through the night.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. Yeah, fuck cat therapists, by the way. That complete waste of time. She doesn't, like, she's like, I'd like to come over to your house and see kind of what the situation is. There's not a chance in hell you're coming to my house. Not a chance in hell you're coming to my house. First of all, the cats will hide.
Yeah.
And then she'll be like, oh, you're a bad kitty, daddy. Your cats aren't
know you.
social.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so, there's cat talk with Michael and Stu.
That was...
How's your dog doing? Just fine? You sleep all night, you asshole?
Yeah, well...
Your gorgeous dog?
He's a very, very handsome boy. He's actually currently taking a nap right beside me, but apparently... Okay, so I had a meeting with a studio client and friend of ours last night, and we had a late night, really fucking great conversation. And I got home a little after midnight-ish, and my brother tells me today that Percy likes to yell in the middle of the night and just starts barking at midnight. And it's like the rest of the time he just, he's like unconscious. But apparently midnight is the witching hour, and he doesn't do that when I'm home. But So yeah, he was doing.
They
he was
wake
doing
up
that.
and miss you.
He woke up and he's like, oh fuck. But for the most part, he's just he does sleep through the night. He sleeps mostly in his crate. He's a good boy. But I did have to take. I had a dog behaviorist come to the house. It was fine. He got grumpy with them, and then he went to like doggy day camp for I think a month. And trained with some folks, and he, still has some of the stuff, but it took a month.
Yeah.
So, but he's fucking great. Yeah.
Can you
and I'm a
imagine
dick.
that with cats?
No.
Like taking cats to a place and they'd be like, okay, we're going to train you to sit. Like they'd be all fingers up, fuck you.
Fingers up, fuck you, knocking everything off of your dresser.
Fuck this, fuck that, knock that off.
Fuck you. Fuck yourself. Fuck me. Okay, let's talk about our field trip.
Yes.
Because
we got to go see the Big Rock Show.
Big Rock Show. I was
Royal Blood.
Yeah, and the opener Hot Wax, they were fucking great too.
Hot Wax, fantastic.
Yeah.
Little trio.
Yeah.
Punk band.
Yeah.
Just so happens that they're all female, but they're just fucking cool.
They rocked hard, and they brought the guitar player. Royal Blood brought the guitar player out for the end of the night. It was an arena show in a theater.
It was.
That light show was fucking amazing, and the sound.
And I've seen them at Red Rocks.
Yeah,
and I've seen a lot of their shows like at the O2 and at festivals and stuff online. I wasn't there.
Yeah,
but they do a lot of big festivals with huge crowds and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so to see them kill 1,000-seater.
Yeah.
And it was packed and sweaty, and there were, the kids downstairs were trying to sort of slam dance.
They were being encouraged to open that pit up a few times, and it was fucking fun as shit to watch, Glad we weren't in the middle of it, but I was happy to watch the children enjoy it.
We were on the rail.
Yeah.
by the bar.
As we do, by the bar, arms crossed,
by
judging
the bar
everything.
And the exit to go smoke. And while I was outside, there was this is how you know you're at a rock show. There was a chick who just completely went out. And
no.
They called the cops, they called the EMTs, they called the emergency people. We're standing out there. I was talking to this tattoo guy, and shout out Danny. I don't know what his Instagram is, but but yeah, suddenly they started closing off the little pin we were standing in. 5 cops show up. They start holding off the boyfriend, and there is a chick laying face down on the sidewalk. And then they got her prone and moved her over, and it looked like an OD or something like that. But it sucks because that's gonna be she lived. I think she lived. I hope she lived. Jesus.
Yeah.
But yeah, eventually ambulances showed up, EMTs, and this is if you've ever been to a venue or whatever, just where you walk through the front doors where they check out your ID and all that, it was right there, in front of it. They pulled her out of the show and then put her on the sidewalk right in front of the venue.
Yeah.
And I feel for her because she's that's her story now. Remember that time at Royal Blood?
Yeah. I remember stories like that when I was in high school, early college, and some people had it as a badge of honor, and I was always like, "You missed the show you wanted to go see."
You missed the show.
Yeah. So yeah,
totally. But they were fantastic.
The sound was amazing in there. The sound was so good.
You know what I'm liking recently?
What's that?
I'm loving how concerts aren't, and I go. Here he goes again, old guy rant. No, but I like how the sound isn't as piercingly loud.
Oh, yeah. Do you think that's our hearing, or do you think that's the venue?
You don't need to decibel level it. No, because I can hear everybody talking and all that.
Yeah.
My hearing's still pretty good.
What?
It's just the wee. I just always have that, too.
You don't have the tinnitus?
I do have the tinnitus. Mm-hmm. I have it right now. I can hear it right now. It's always there. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, kids, make sure to play with loud amps and no IEMs.
I got pretty lucky with that piece. I do have some high-end deficiency, but not a lot because I switched to in-ears pretty quick.
Yeah,
early on, and kind of was an early adopter of some of that stuff. There was a company out of Boulder here in Colorado. The first in-ear set I had was actually a little box that went on my pedal board. And you plugged one end of the cable into it was a little box that went on your pedal board. You plugged one end into your pedal board, and there was another end that came out of the this little box. So there's two cables right up there, and it had a little headphone jack on the top of it. And it was basically a little headphone amp that sat on your pedal board, and you could basically have really great. I had the custom molds. I could plug my ears up and get the sounds I wanted, and I didn't have to use any batteries. It was powered right off my board.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool, and I could actually jump it off of a powered wedge. It had an attenuator.
I was going to say, where did the source come from?
So if I had a monitor in front of me that had parallel in and out on the back of it, whether it's speak on or quarter-inch speaker cable or whatever, I had adapters for everything. I could literally jump off the wedge and just ask the front of house guy to mix me a monitor mix, and it would go directly to my in-ears. It was a fucking incredible thing, and it really did save my hearing. The only time I really notice I have any hearing deficiency is after a long session or a long show, right? Because it's not necessarily ear fatigue. It's not necessarily like hearing loss. It's brain and ear fatigue. I'm like mindless. I'm listening to all of the sounds around your voice, not your voice.
Yeah. My problem, I tried it early on. I tried in-ears, and I got dizzy. I couldn't do it.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't. I mean, it may have been the Jaeger, but
Perfect.
Like, it was weird to sing, because you hear your voice three ways. Like, you hear it as you normally hear it. You hear it because your ears are closed, and then you hear what's coming in it. And so it just fucked me up. And I like hearing the room. I mean, all the tired things you hear people say when they don't like in-ears. Like, I like feeling the room. I like hearing a little bit. I don't want to take it out to hear if someone says something. For like, go to 3 or this song or you change something up. And so I didn't. I tried them. I tried them for like a week. Had a really cool company that provided me some. And I tried the cheap ones. I tried the really nice ones. Just did not work for me. I couldn't really dig into the voice section the way I wanted to. Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely, it's very close. And if you're not used to that source being there and not used to mixing it in such a way that you don't have, because normally when you have a wedge in front of you, you're mixing your voice so fucking hot in there. Your microphone is on the edge of just going,
but not me, because I sing so loud. So using a dynamic singer, when you're a dynamic singer, that wedge is pretty low because on the smaller parts you want it to be low, but you're gonna scream. And so that's the mixing guy. The mixer always is like, well, that's where it is. That's the top of it.
What's the microphone you destroyed by being the loudest singer ever?
Well, I knocked out a Sennheiser once, but I also knocked out a Neumann. At Dwayne's studio.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's well done. So back to the Royal Blood show for a second. Opener was fantastic, although they were really cramped on one side of the stage, which I get because of how the Royal Blood stage setup is. They were kind of cramped on stage right, like half the stage. And Gothic is not a huge stage, but a
venue stage.
Yeah, it's a venue stage. But they had literally the upstage, the entire back half, was just lights. Was a light show. It was just fucking insane. And Royal Blood had a keyboard player. I've seen them on either on Jules Holland or something like that or Kimmel or something like that with a 4 or 5 piece band with a keyboard player and a backup singer. But they were just traveling as a 3-piece, and the keyboard player was on for probably 30% of the show. The other 70% was just the two of them.
Basically, most of Typhoon's stuff, because that's where they started it. Where it was like, well, we have some synth, and we've got some backup vocals. If you get a chance, if you like Royal Blood, check out Royal Blood BBC Orchestra. There's something that they do with the whole orchestra, all the singers, synth, and it's the trick with 2 guys playing amazingly loud rock music and the guitarist, bassist playing both parts on the same instrument, and the drummer is so good and knows when to lay it in and out.
Just pocket.
That's a great trick, but like they're still a band. Like and like when you get you're in the studio, there's still overdubs, there's still all the other stuff. And so, but I mean, early on in their career, they were pretty straight up just two piece. Like the way they recorded it was the way that they did it, and and it's kind of a trick, but it's also, oh my God, so much cheaper to go on the road.
Oh yeah,
with two people and a tech, basically, and a manager. Like so much easier, and you make more money. Yeah, and like they got signed to Warner with the two piece.
Two people, yeah.
But then I'm sure there's a lot of pressure to like grow as a musician and a producer, and so you get keys and synths and backup vocalists, and
I'm making a face.
It still works though. I don't think the fans have like knocked them down for. I think that was their most successful album actually.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, it doesn't. We were very aware of there was some tracks going on. There were some backing tracks happening.
Yeah, especially vocals.
Yeah, because there would be vocal. If there's two piece, the drummer does not sing. There'll be a vocal show up here and there. And I mean, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't take me out of the show. No. And most people, and I've been in bands that use backing tracks. It doesn't bother me. I don't feel like it detracted from the show. And most people, the guys slamming into each other on the dance floor, they didn't give a shit. The place was packed all fucking night.
Yeah.
And, every head bob into that pocket. It was like really cool to watch.
I think where I come down on backing tracks is that, like, you've got to be able to kind of, especially for musicians watching. And I know this is kind of different than your average civilian fan. Yeah. But, like, I have to know that this is just like sprinkling some sugar on it.
Yeah.
Like, you can make the cake and bake it and cut it and serve it to me. Like, I can tell you are playing everything, you're singing everything. Yeah, there's some extra stuff, or maybe there's a little rhythm part in there or whatever because you don't have four arms. Fine. Or, whatever. But like, I can tell that you're playing the whole thing. I think the problem when backing tracks come in is like when a lead vocalist starts not singing the lead line. Yeah. And the track's there. Yeah. And because it's supposed to be a double and they just sort of take it off. Yeah. Like, that's when it bugs you. Or when it's like, when there's like, a guitar part that you're like, okay, but that's the riff though. Play the fucking riff.
Yeah. It's got, for me, even in the bands that I've used backing tracks with, at least give me the appearance that somebody's trying to do that live. Right. Even if you're supporting with tracks. But again, it's like watching if I watch a movie, I kind of know we all kind of know how the sausage is made at this point in time. It doesn't detract from my enjoyment.
Ooh, that's a really good point. Like, people don't get mad at movies because there's ADR, because there's voiceover. Yeah. Like, they don't really know. Yeah. I mean, if you do it right. If they weren't able to pick up the sound on the set that day, and then you got to come in and redo the sound and redo the audio, and it happens on every single production, every single movie. Yeah. No one's like, that movie sucked because they came and did a voiceover. No one really says that.
Andy Dufresne swam through 3 miles of shit. Was that the voiceover you were talking about, or another more?
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm totally
There's a
kidding.
Scene where two people are talking, and then it just turns out that they're Oh, I'm sorry. You were jesting.
I was jesting. Sorry. I'm always jesting unless we're talking about real shit.
Oh, gross. All right. Well, let's talk about some real shit.
Yeah, talk about some real shit.
What do you want to talk about? BMI?
Have you seen okay, let's talk about BMI.
Hold whatever you're saying, and we'll talk about it right after. Yeah. Here's our 3 minutes of music business.
BMI. Bang the gavel. Sold.
BMI sold to Mountain.
That's right.
A hedge fund, kind of a group of investors were put together. And it looks like it came in at 1.7 billion, I believe.
That's impressive.
Something like that. 1.5 billion, maybe. Yeah. The valuation was 1.7 billion, and so BMI is now owned by fucking money people. Shit. But by the way, BMI changed from a nonprofit model to a profit model. Yeah. BMI brings in about 145 million a year. That means it's an 11 to 12 multiple that they got paid for it. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
If you're a BMI writer or publisher, they say that there's going to be 100 million set aside in an allocation for you as a BMI writer or publisher.
Fantastic.
We'll see. Enjoy those $2.
Yeah. Enjoy those $2.
I was asked about this, like, what does this mean if you're a writer or a publisher, and is this good? What do you think about it? I hate it. I hate that hedge funds have gotten into music. I hate that hedge funds have gotten into music publishing as investor class assets.
Yeah.
On the one hand, I hate it. On the other hand, if you are buying BMI as an investment, and BMI, for those of you who don't know, collects monies to distribute as royalties for publishing and writers around the world on public performance and a whole slew of other rights that are embedded in music. But if you are buying that as a class asset to make money on, which now you can make money on it, then they're going to maximize how much money it makes, which means that every BMI writer and publisher should get more money.
Oh, you and that
now,
dirty
this is
word.
the capitalist point of view about it, right? Like, oh, well, in a free market, it should maximize its potential and run more efficiently and therefore create more profit. And that profit should be distributed to the owners or the shareholders, which, by the way, if you're a BMI writer or publisher, you are technically a BMI shareholder. And so... So there you go. Now, not on the overall model, but on your part of the model and how much money you're bringing in, per year or per quarter, I guess. And so in that way, it may be better that there are money grubbing fucks owning PBI, owning BMI. And so it may be better. However, what we've seen with like Primary Wave and a few of the other publishing outfits, hedge funds that have done this, is that they've gotten to a place where it ain't working out. And the investors are a little pissed off because the money isn't as big as they thought or not as quick as they thought. And now they're going to sell part of the catalog to try to raise some money so they can keep the money coming over the quarterly capitalist game. And if that happens on a royalty side, well, that becomes a pretty big fucking deal. If BMI goes away because it just ain't worth it, because honestly, $145 million a year to hedge funds is that's
nothing.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, a 10-year horizon for $1 billion, that's for 1.5, that's nothing. That's no money at all. Like there are just so many other investments you can make to make that money. So at some point, I think they get sick of it. Like I think some of these guys get into this. Some of these investors get into this because they're like, "Ooh, I want to be in the music business." And the fact is, you can't buy Sony, Warner, or UMG anymore. They are such multiple global conglomerates. You can't overtake that company. Even as a very rich hedge fund, you can't. So this is a way to get in. But I don't like it. I don't know why. I wish it could just stay nonprofit and they could work their asses off to maximize it that way.
It just feels kind of icky.
But it's not.
It feels icky.
It does feel icky. And this, again, I file into this, the way you wish it would be. So I'm dealing with the way it is. This is what's happening. And we'll see. We'll see how they do. Like right now, I told you when this happened, when BMI went from nonprofit to a for-profit model. My take on it was basically, okay, well, we'll see. They're still going to run at about 20% cost, I guess. And so that's fine. We'll see how it works out.
Do you think that move was part of this precursor to this deal?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they wouldn't have gotten the offer. You couldn't really buy out a nonprofit. Because they had to convert all that to basically shares. And I mean, I don't know the in and outs of how this deal worked. But yeah, you couldn't really transfer the ownership in like Class A shares or that kind of thing where it can convert. There's usually when you buy or acquire something, the startups I've been involved in, there's like a lockup period. There's Class A shares that convert. There's different kinds of shares that convert depending on the ownership model. So there's like a bunch of highfalutin finance crap that happens in the background. The good thing is that BMI doesn't really hold any rights. Like, they execute rights holders' wishes. So, like, the music you and I have on there, they don't own it.
Yeah.
Like, I can take it off. It's going to be really hard. We did a podcast on that. It's really fucking hard to get out of any PRO. Performing rights organization.
Thank you.
But, you basically are giving them the license to collect on your behalf, right?
Yeah.
But they don't own it. So there's nothing, there's not really an asset that this company bought, that's what concerns me. Is that there's no real ownership of anything other than they're buying licensing revenue. They're buying revenue in the future. And so as long as that revenue keeps rolling, we're probably going to be okay. However, I think BMI and ASCAP and all those kind of companies are fine with like 3% or 5% growth or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, hedge funds
Hedge fund is not. Nope.
Yeah, in like 2 or 3 years, if that $145 million a year isn't at probably $200 million, people are going to start diving, start jumping.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, not off buildings, but jumping out.
Jumping out of the investment. Yeah, of course. I'm curious to see how that. It's an interesting tactic, Cotton. We'll see how it plays out for him. That's a dodgeball reference.
Well, what's really weird is that, like, because we spoke about this in a previous podcast about songwriters selling their catalogs.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they're selling their catalogs to these conglomerate groups of investors, Primary Wave, Hypnosis, Royalty Exchange. There's a few of those that are out there. And so they're selling them to that. Well, they still work with a BMI. They still work with a whomever, right?
Yeah.
And so what you're going to have is like two hedge funds arguing with each other.
That's going to be
so
fun.
if you add in major labels to that, so if you're let's say you're Warner and you're like, well, hey, I want my major label artists to make more. I want my publishing, Warner Chappell, to make more money here. And so as Warner, you can say, I've got these many artists, I've got this much money revenue I bring in, I should have a little say in this. You're going to be able to argue with this new hedge fund, Mountain, about it, right? But it's going to be you and Hypnosis and Primary Wave or whatever, and not us. We're left out of that argument. And so I wonder, and these are like the same moves that are happening with like Spotify and the rest of them, is that they are sort of designed to sort of tip the scale back to the majors again. And by the majors, really whoever the people are that own the majority of the music. Control the majority of the music. They're going to have more control and therefore get more profit. It's not like they're arguing on our behalf. It's not like they're like, I think that every small publisher should make as much as I do. No, that's not how that argument goes.
No. Yet again,
but we'll see how it goes.
We find ourselves in the position of your PRO and your royalties are only a piece of this musical puzzle.
Okay, and I'll also give you a little bit of insight here. I spoke to a lawyer that deals with music publishing deals.
Okay.
And it was kind of about the catalog stuff. I think Dee Snider was on a show just recently that said the same thing that we've all been talking about. I wrote about it in Performer like a year ago. Why are people getting out of catalogs and taking the money and running? And part of it's a tax thing. The majority of it is a tax thing. Secondarily, it's basically like a legacy thing that has to do with like estate planning, right, for rich people. So this isn't really like if you're making like $500 a year, $4,000 a year on your royalties. This is, if you're making $1 million, $2 million a year on your royalties, like you got to pay attention to taxes. Okay, so he was saying, he was like, here's my issue, is that now that these people are selling. Right, and they sell into another group, and that means there's this long-term revenue of royalties. That's what everyone's buying into, is like this long horizon of royalties. If anything changes on the royalty side, Spotify starts losing users or slowing growth, which they're not losing, and they're not slowing growth yet. But they're slowing, like... the growth is there, but it's not. But they're slowing, and like they just became profitable. But it ain't from music. It's from podcasts. It's from the audio like, books and stuff, that the deals that they were done. Okay, so if that continues to happen, all of these companies that are in the long game, they're going to want to consolidate back and sell everything out. So who buys that?
Can we start a GoFundMe?
Like, major publishers.
Yeah.
So, like, they're already in the game. Like, if you're still running Frank Sinatra's catalog, you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily. And so, like, as long as they'll have you, as long as the estate lets you continue to run it. So whoever that is with Capital, Sony, whatever it is.
Yeah.
When these hedge funds want to get out, there may be a fire sale of all this publishing that comes back into the music industry. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
But that would make the consolidation just so much bigger. Like, they would be so much more powerful. Yeah. But there may be a way for you to buy your rights back. He was like, I've talked to a few. He said he's talked to a few of like the big writers. They're like, you know, I got my money. They got their money, whatever it was, $23 million or something, right? And they've spent most of it, or they've already started spending it.
Yeah.
But, you know, if come like 5 years, they may be able to, you know, call one of the companies up and go, hey, if you're trying to, because I mean, Hypnosis was trying to sell, no, it wasn't, it was Primary Wave, was trying to sell catalog that they just bought 2 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, like, if you're Stevie Nicks, go back and go, I'll give you $10 million back for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, thanks.
It could work because they don't care. They just want the money this quarter, right? They want the money this quarter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what, I guess, just like everything in the music industry, we'll see.
We'll see. Ain't that the truth?
So is that the donkey story where
no.
Kid comes, he's playing around and he falls and he breaks his leg?
Oh, this is a different donkey story.
No, it's the same donkey story. It starts in Mexico. What? No. Okay, don't tell that story.
No. It'll be not. Oh, boy. That's the wrong donkey story. Anyway, it's all fascinating and it's all happening. It's an interesting, music is an interesting business in this place because it's interesting. Like, my product is on these platforms, right? It's my songs they have the, you know, I've given them the authorization to collect my royalties on my behalf.
True.
And yet, like, you know, I've given them that permission in perpetuity until I decide that, you know, and it's really fucking hard to get out of it. And so I'm watching them all fuck around with my permission, essentially. Like, I'm going, you guys are all fucking around over there, and I've given you permission to collect royalties on my behalf. Now, I'm not, you know, I'm not in the $1 million, you know, range yet. And so, you know, but like watching all this fuckery afoot gives me, you know, I can't think of another business I would be in where that would happen with the product that I create. You know, unless I actually sell the rights to use something, or, you know, like a license to use something that I create. It's bizarre that the music industry is that way, but I understand because intellectual property is complicated and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, it is. It is weird. It is weird that you have to use these platforms.
Yes, you have to use them.
You know, and I mean, especially in royalty collection, you have no choice. You can't go call all the bars and do.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm on your Touch Tunes, and you played it 63 times this month.
View every television show in the country and then in the world and figure out how many times your song was used. You can't. I mean, TuneSat helps with that, but But like, royalty collection, you have no choice. You have to be a part of a royalty.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you want to play that game,
lose that money.
Yeah.
Or you just lose that money. You don't have to opt in.
Yeah.
You know, like the thing is, who were we talking about this with? Is like, oh, fuck Spotify. I don't like Spotify. Okay, well, go ahead and go ahead and stream it from your own site. How many streams do you get from there?
Yeah.
You think Spotify is shadow banning you? Like, go directly to your fans, have a stream thing set up on your site, run it 24/7. They can stream any song they want, and you tell me what your numbers are.
Yeah.
Because they're not great.
Yeah.
No one's going to your site. No one's going to download your, John Doe's music app.
Yeah.
For your music, like, and
because
they
need another fucking app. They need another fucking app. You know.
Yeah.
You know, I've already got. I mean, my phone is disgusting with the number of fucking apps I have on there.
It is. Mine is. What? How many do you have? Do you know? How many screens? How many screens do you go? Swipe right.
I've got 4, but I also have a fuckload of folders on each screen.
Yeah, I've got foreign folders.
yeah. I mean, I got a couple.
Pretty.
But like Apple likes to say, "Hey, would you like to use? Here's the Home app and a new U2 album. Go fuck yourself." And it's like I don't use either of those things, and I definitely did not listen to the new U2 album. So, not that I don't like U2, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that it's like I'm constantly.
Don't like music. Yeah.
I hate music with a fiery passion of 1,000 suns. No, it's not even that. Speaking of which,
I have 2 folders, one that says Apple things and another that says Google stuff. And those have like all the shit that I don't use from, like the Apple, the books, the heart rate, all that crap that I don't do any of that stuff.
I use but I've got,
Stocks.
I don't use the shortcuts really. I don't use the Home app. I've actually got a folder of it just called shit I don't use.
Yeah. I do too. Yeah. Plus, half of these apps that I have the little cloud sign by them.
Yeah, because they're not on the device.
Because they're like you actually don't have it.
Yeah. You downloaded it once, but then you offloaded it to the cloud.
Totally.
Anyway, it's all dumb and stupid, and it's all the future. As you said earlier, the future is not better.
The future sucks right now.
There you go. That's it.
This is not what we thought it would be.
I don't mind it. I'm quite happy in my room with my books and my noise canceling headphones.
I like the present. I'm saying the future sucks right now. The future that we were promised is not like, oh, you're going to have this beautiful, and even on the face of it, right? It looks cool. You got everything on your phone. It's fantastic. What a glorious thing that is. Oh, but you have to plug it in all the fucking time. Oh, but you got to update all the fucking time. Oh, but then you get scam calls on it all the fucking time.
Old man yelling at cloud. Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
So go see Royal Blood. Hot Wax is awesome. If you're a BMI writer, look for your $100 million check. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. That is a succinct wrap up there.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's get to it. Oh, wait a minute. What was your thing?
Oh, I was going to talk about the whole OpenAI debacle, but we can wait for that.
Fucking Sam Altman.
Let's just leave.
No, I want to talk about it.
Okay, get into it.
I don't think we'll see.
We'll see.
No, I
think
a ride.
What a roller coaster.
This is a perfect example of, and I say this all the time, and I know that people give me some shit about it. This is a perfect example of when people keep putting these tech gods as deities, the smartest people, the smartest engineers, the people that are going to change the world, OpenAI, and AI is going to change everything. They can't even run their own fucking company. The board can't handle the CEO. Sam Altman can't fucking answer emails correctly.
Yeah.
And, by the way, they couldn't even pull off the trick. He couldn't pull off going to Microsoft with Satya. There was like a whole bunch of things that happened there. If you want to know what the hell we're talking about, go search out Kara Swisher. She has all of the information on this. She is plugged into Silicon Valley, and she kind of has the same point of view. You have all these people that are elevated as gods. They are not smarter than you. Okay? Some of them, right? And by the way, neither is AI. Because AI is stealing from everything you've put on the internet. It's not smart. It's not AI. It's not open, by the way. And by the way, OpenAI started out as a nonprofit.
I remember that.
And then changed over. And so, again, we see how capitalism kind of fucks it up. Probably started out as a very good mission.
Yeah.
But even Sam Altman is the same kind of guy that's like, look, he can't go to sleep. Sometimes he kisses his children because he's so worried that AI is going to ruin the world. Are you fucking kidding me? You're the one that came up with it. You're the one doing it. So stop it. Kill the company and turn it off.
Today is a day that I regret that this isn't on video because your flailing is exceptional right now.
I'm using my hands. Oh my God, it pisses me off so much. Mostly it pisses me off because I expect competence Especially from people who are fucking around with world-changing things.
Yes.
Like, okay, you're starting an app that is a fart app. I don't care whether or not that company lives or dies. It's a great fart app. I have 12 farts I can choose from, and I can send them to my friends.
And they vary in degree of wetness. Yeah.
That's right. It's very nice.
Left to right. Wetter.
I can upload my own farts. Fantastic. But when you're dealing with AI and generative AI and ChatGPT and AGI, like when you're dealing with that kind of shit that like multiple scientists, physicists, thinkers that work on this kind of shit are like, this is dangerous. No matter what the outcome is, it's dangerous to commerce.
Yeah.
It's super dangerous to creativity. The point of ChatGPT is to replace creative thought and output. That is the purpose of it. The purpose of it is not to make you more efficient. It's to replace creative thought and output. That's what it does. And so if you think that that's a good thing and you don't think that that's dangerous and you want to make that world happen, okay, fine. But then you come to the press and you're like, you guys, this is so dangerous. We can't train the model on anything past 2021.
Yeah.
Well, then turn the fucking thing off. We're putting robots in the goddamn subways of New York. There's going to be more cameras in New York than in most cities. Like in all cities in America, there's cameras on everybody because of these little robots. And those Boston Dynamic fucking robot dogs, those killer dogs, have you not seen the movies? This is not like when this all happens, when the world goes to shit. And everyone's like, geez, I don't know how it happened. We don't know how we saw it. Why didn't we see this coming? I did. All of us that saw a movie or read a fucking book in the last 10 or 20 years, we saw it coming. This is... Jesus Christ, it's so stupid. What are you doing? Anyway, we'll see how it works.
Anyway, wait and see, right?
I know that people using ChatGPT and the OpenAI, like some of their stuff, like just it completely broke the next day. And by the way, Microsoft Cloud was part of that thing. So while I was waiting to play Starfield, they were like, "How come it's not parsing my language model?"
Nice callback. Well done. Well done. Bringing it back to the beginning. You're very welcome. Okay? Before we move on, I just need to know, how's your blood pressure?
It's fine. It's high. You know, it's high.
I know.
It's high because I don't get enough sleep.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm good.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm doing my Windhoff, whatever.
Your Jan-Hammer?
Windhoff breathing. That's what you got to do now.
Very good. I'm glad you're doing that. That's good. Yeah. Do you find it?
I think
it's
crazy that we live in a world where we all have to like remind ourselves how to breathe.
It's not. It's designed to interrupt negative self-talk.
No, it isn't. It's to regulate your breath and your heart rate, and therefore self-talk, I guess. But
well, because usually when your anxiety and your heart rate starts going up, there's a bunch of fucking chaos going on in your head, and if you have to focus on your breathing, guess what?
Stu, there's chaos going on in the world. It's not in my head. It's these fuckers, people at OpenAI and the Starfield thing and I'm fucking my cats and I wanted to sleep and Okay.
All right, wow, again. I regret that there's no video for this today. Okay, so go. Let's sync of the week for this shit.
Sync of the week. Sync of the week. Brought to you by our friendly people at Wim Hof.
And
teaching you
Venmo,
how to breathe.
Your money, your way. And Liquid Death, murder thy thirst.
Thank you, Liquid Death. All right. You can't come soon enough, honestly. Sweet release.
Well, this has been the apocalyptic episode today.
This won't ever make it out. The world's over. OpenAI fucked up everything. Okay, so you want to go first?
Sure. I recently polished off my reviewing of Gilmore Girls: A Year in the Life, the miniseries that appeared solely on Netflix.
What?
Well, we got to check in with
a new thing? A new
no,
Gilmore Girls?
It's 2017-ish.
Okay.
I think around there. Yeah.
Rory's in it?
And Rory's in it. Lorelei's in it. You get to visit the whole cast of characters, except those who passed away. They did some nice homages to certain characters that passed prior to the filming of this.
Is Sebastian Bach in it?
Oh, fuck yeah, Sebastian Bach is in it as Gil, the Sandwich King, you know?
Baz.
Yeah, he's in there talking like this, bro.
Hey, you guys.
Yeah, that was almost David Lee Roth-ish. Oh yeah, perfect. So, but in the first episode with the 4-piece, it was 4 episodes. All about an hour and a half each. The winter part was a lovely Tom Waits song called Time.
Oh, okay.
And it was unexpected, and of course, then I turned that off, bought 3 bottles of Merlot, 6 packs of Marlboro Reds, and put Tom Waits on the on the old vinyl spinner, and spent my days lamenting the passing of time and modern man's existential. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, his voice is fucking gloriously fucked up from his years of abuse, but he is still a brilliant thinker and brilliant satirist, shall we say. I really enjoy when I get to hear his thoughts on things. I don't know what he's doing much these days. He might be just sitting, like, smoking Marlboro Reds and drinking Merlot all night. Maybe a nice Malbec. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was that was Robin Erdung as the music soup on that. I don't know if that person does a lot of Netflix shows, but it was a lovely. I love when Tom Waits shows up in these beautiful scenes, just to kind of juxtapose. Here, listen to this fucked up, incredibly emotionally. It's his voice is stuffed with emotion and content.
Yeah. He's got junk on it.
Yeah, he's got some shit on it for sure.
That's what we say. We've got some little junk on there. I like
it.
Yeah. Well, okay, fantastic. Gilmore Girls.
Yeah.
By the way,
a year in the life of the miniseries.
Putting my marker down on something after the Bosdy Bop. On this Van Halen Best of All Worlds tour.
Yeah.
With Sammy and Mike and Jason Bonham and Joe Satriani.
Yes.
I know he invited Alex and he invited David Lee Roth out.
Yes.
And I'm putting it on wax right now. Alex will not be playing with them.
Yeah.
David Lee Roth will show up.
Yes, I agree. I think that's going to happen.
So just so everybody knows, I have it on good authority. David's going to at least show up to a few shows. Don't know if he'll do the whole tour, but he's going to show up to a few. Okay. So put that on wax. Anyway, how's that for making the show old? Put it on wax. There's like a bunch of people who are like, what the fuck does that mean?
Well, wax cylinders were one of the original recording mediums and used that. What?
Listen to the Beastie Boys. Okay. Mine is from, I'm over there on the Apple TV. By the way, Apple TV has rebranded. It's not Apple TV Plus. It's not Apple Plus anymore. It's Apple TV, which they're finally getting it right.
Yeah.
I believe.
Thank God.
Anyway, I love Apple TV shows. They don't go viral. It's really weird. They're great fucking shows on there, and they don't really go viral. Other than Ted Lasso, people really don't like Cher, but I think a lot of people are watching them. Anyway, if you like sci-fi,
oh boy.
For All Mankind
is
one of the best shows I've ever seen. It time jumps, it switches what the future was, what the past is, all of those kind of things. For All Mankind is fantastic. Anyway, season 4 is happening.
Yes.
And episode 3, there's a fantastic juxtapositions music drop, and it is Gorillaz. Clint Eastwood.
Hell yes.
I'm happy. So it's that song. And it shows 2 people as they're in Happy Valley. By the way, Happy Valley. And so it has that little nugget of the placement. But one is living a different kind of life on this installation than the other one is. One's doing one has a horrible life. One has a fantastic life, great food, great water, great environment. The other one is like struggling. The video doesn't work. Their food is horrible. And so it's a great, great placement for that scene. The scene was sort of custom done for that kind of song. Feeling glad, feeling sad, like it's got all of those things, and it's this juxtaposition. And that is Maggie Phillips of Deep Cut Music over there, who's doing
Very nice.
some of that for Apple. And so it's For All Mankind, season 4, episode 3. Gorillas,
Fantastic.
Clint Eastwood, get off my lawn.
It is. For All Mankind is a fucking great show, and there are several. I'm finally catching up on Foundation, which is really great. Not a happy show at all. And I just started. They've got the new Godzilla Monarch Monster show just started up as well, with Kurt and Wyatt Russell playing the same character in different decades. It's fucking great if you like.
And it's a
monster
show.
movies.
It's not a movie.
Yeah. It's not a movie, and it's
I just saw it the other night. I was like, "Oh, that's not a movie." I was like, "Oh."
It's real fun. I'm enjoying. I watched the first 2 episodes when they came out because I love monster movies. Huge fan of Godzilla growing up. Like the Gareth Edwards. I believe it was Gareth Edwards did the remake in the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like. So I'm real happy to go visit all that shit any day of the week.
Can't say enough about the Apple TV or the Apple TV executive production, because I don't know how they have done it. But every single show has the same underlying feel to it. And that is, you don't completely like anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nobody that, other than Ted Lasso, maybe.
But even Ted had
even
his...
Ted, yeah.
Even Ted fucked up.
But like, it is show to show to show. Like the lead thing, the same thing with Lessons in Chemistry. You're like, kind of like that. They're so flawed.
Yeah.
They do such a great job of attracting those kind of writers and producers, and like it's just a thread through everything. Everybody is flawed.
Yeah.
And it's just fantastic. I just
but
love
even
it
the
every
other
time.
side, even the other side, like the characters you start out hating, you find out that there is some thread through them. Yeah, there's something about them that you actually end up liking.
Yeah.
And it gets very confusing, very tiring, and who knows what the fuck is going on.
Totally.
So,
all right, let's wrap this sucker up. Everyone, go check out StuMillerMusic.com. Hurry up. You know, he just had a meeting with the studio. He's doing a big record.
Yeah.
He's not got much time left, but he has those little specials running. StuMillerMusic.com. But you got to go check it out now.
Yep, right until after, right now.
Right now. Turn this off.
now.
What the fuck are you doing? Go to
get out of here.
StuMillerMusic.com.
Why are you still here?
You can always check us out anywhere you follow people at 2ShotsMusicPod. You can email us, 2ShotsMusicPod@gmail.com, 2ShotsMusicPod@gmail.com. And by the way, you can go to 2ShotsMusicPod.com and get all of the shows, or you can just search that on YouTube, and all the shows are right there too, if you don't care about podcasting. It's fantastic. So we will talk to you next week. We hope you have a fantastic week, and that you write a great song.
Please
you
write
look
a great
good, feel good, treat other people well, and we'll talk to you next week.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.